Every day, someone tries to win over my seatmate. Class goddess, grade goddess, campus goddess, every kind of beauty flocks to him. But my quiet, brooding seatmate doesn't spare a shred of tenderness. He looks a pretty girl in the eye and spits out one cold word, scram. Pure impatience, pure contempt. Then he turns around, pins me against the wall, and with a shadowed look that's equal parts pleading and need, murmurs, "Don't go liking someone else, okay? I'm a nobody. Average family, average brain, not exactly pretty but passably sweet looking. My days run a strict triangle, school, the road, home. Ordinary to the core. That's how I went through every single day, steady, uneventful. Until one day I noticed a crack in the routine. It started when, in junior year, the teacher assigned me a new seatmate. My seatmate was Luke Rain, top of the grade and stupidly handsome. He was quiet and brooding, with a stay-away-from-me aura that reeked of cynicism and nihilism. But a gorgeous face and perfect scores are bulletproof. Plenty of girls still nursed crushes on him. Except me. I didn't like him, I didn't feel anything. My type was the sunny soccer boy from the next class over. Which is also why the teacher assigned Luke to sit next to me. Why not a male seatmate? Because apparently Luke had a serious germophobia. If someone touched him, he acted like they'd taken a chunk out of his flesh and his face went dark. And at this age, boys run hot, one spark and they're swinging. With girls, he could at least restrain himself, he couldn't throw punches, even if his tongue could cut. So I became the best possible seatmate for Luke. My public persona, blank and quiet. Sitting next to Luke, we minded our own business and stayed out of each other's way. No talking, no greetings. A stack of textbooks formed a border down the desk's middle, almost no interaction. His temper sucked, but every morning new letters showed up on his desk. Every time he just stuffed them into his backpack. At first he tossed them in the trash, people fished them out and read them aloud, so he switched to filing them in his bag. My guess? He burned them at home in batches. Luke never lacked for girls chasing him, but I started noticing something weird. Every so often, one girl would keep popping up in front of him, forcing presence. When that failed, she'd suddenly act like a totally different person. Her entire personality would flip. I held on to that eerie feeling and watched them like a bystander at a play. Luke, I can't do this math problem. Could you, maybe help me? That was our class goddess talking, delicate as a paper white. She stood beside Luke, laid the textbook on his desk, shy smile in place. Luke lifted his eyes, cool as ice. I don't know how. Flat out nonsense. He scored a perfect 100 every time. The number never budged, her smile froze at the corners. Okay. She kept the smile and retreated, tactful enough. Judging by her eyes, she wasn't about to give up. Sure enough, during PE that afternoon, I saw her bring him a bottle of water under the tree's shade. Luke, thirsty? Have some water. I'm not. He refused her and twisted open the bottle at his feet to drink. Her fist tightened in secret. It's fine, I'll leave it here. Drink it if you want, she chirped, still flawlessly polite, and walked away. In the shade, a cool breeze lifted the bangs from Luke's forehead. His features were carved sharp and clean. He should have been all sunlight at his age, but his eyes were dark, drained of life. Suddenly he turned his head and caught me looking. I looked away like nothing had happened and watched the clouds instead. At the end of PE, when the teacher dismissed us, Paper White let out a little squeal and pitched forward. Right in front of Luke. She'd underestimated his indifference. He stepped aside. Watched her hit the ground. His hands didn't even flinch upward on reflex. She started crying from the pain, a fake fall turned real. Luke glanced down at her, mouth tipped with a mocking curl, like a clown had slipped. The next day, Paper White quieted down. Back to normal, no more orbiting Luke. The teacher droned on at the front, beside me, my seatmate scribbled formulas I couldn't parse. Dense, esoteric. When he was writing them, his whole aura changed. A rare light came into his eyes. Today the monthly exam results came out, and the whole grade went nuts. Luke, the longtime undisputed #1, finally met a rival. There were 2 first places. A girl's name stood shoulder to shoulder with Luke's on the rankings, a dark horse, stunning. The class buzzed with gossip about the new top student. Luke sat at his desk, unmoved. I looked down at the math test just explained in front of me, barely a pass. I sighed under my breath. My little sigh drew Luke's look, his eyes dropped to my score. No disdain, no smugness. Just calm. I still flipped the paper over, his perfect score next to mine made me ache with envy. The gap between people, huh? On our way back from calisthenics during break, a girl stopped Luke. High ponytail, heart-shaped face, pretty as a rose. You're Luke, right? I tied for first on this monthly exam. Just so you know, next time my name's going above yours. She tilted that long neck, issuing a haughty challenge. Luke stared into her eyes, and just when I thought he might be impressed by her looks, impatience flickered there. He didn't even respond. Just walked past her and up the steps. Her face flushed under a dozen curious stares. She yelled at his back, "Luke, stop looking down on people. I'm going to beat you." After that, Rose kept coincidentally running into Luke. Every time she looked him dead on, proud and relentless. "I'm going to grind you under my heel." She was trying the goat him method. Luke didn't bite. The second monthly exam rolled around, and everyone was eager to see how Rose would put Luke beneath her. Instead, jaws dropped, Luke was first again. Perfect in every subject. Even the essay scored full marks. Rose took second. When grades came out, she told him, "You got lucky. That essay score won't save you next time. Just wait." For the first time, Luke actually answered her, "God, you're annoying. What you want has nothing to do with me." So loud. His gaze was dark, his voice icy. Rose froze, shaking with rage. Rose went quiet and disappeared. I started wondering who the next face would be. A few more girls tried different approaches to get to Luke. All of them got the same one-word answer, Scram. Among the pretty girls, one stood out, clean and gentle, like Jasmine. She was a transfer student and, unlike the others, didn't rush to plant herself in Luke's line of sight on day one. The first week, she made no moves. But I knew she was waiting. During introductions that first day, her gaze lingered on Luke for a few extra seconds. On the day it was my and Luke's turn for classroom duty, a boy couldn't help himself and grabbed the chocolate bar on Luke's desk. Some girl had given it to him, he'd left it untouched. The boy called out, "Another treat from a girl, Luke? You gonna eat it?" Luke was wiping the board. He didn't even turn around. "No." A second later the boy tore the wrapper. "I'm starving. If you won't eat it, I will." Luke turned, saw chocolate go into the kid's mouth, and his eyes went flat and cold. He raised his hand, the eraser thudded against the boy, chalk dust bloomed. "You out of your mind? If I'm not eating it, that doesn't make it yours." They went at it and the next day got hauled up by the homeroom teacher. The boy swore Luke through the first punch. Luke said nothing about the chocolate. The teacher told Luke to apologize, he refused in silence. So the teacher pulled out the line every student hates most, "I'll call your parents." Luke's fists clenched, I could feel the anger rolling off him. I didn't understand why he wouldn't bring up the chocolate. Boys and their logic, honestly. I thought about it, since we were seatmates, I'd speak up for once. Just as I raised my hand, Jasmine stood. "Teacher, Luke wasn't wrong." She laid out exactly what had happened and cleared his name. I watched her, amused. So this was what she'd been waiting for.